What's going on, everyone? Let's make another, I guess, John made a podcast, I guess. I don't prefer to have a certain view on my face. This is just gonna be audio for now. I guess this is the start when I'll put this on YouTube. So let's try it out. Today, I'm just, I guess you could say, technically restarting, or let's revisit some things. So yeah. Sorry guys. This one either can be really rough on you, or it can really, I don't know how to really describe it at the moment. It can really, I don't know, make you see things differently is the best I could say. But anyway, we're going to talk solely on how loss is, or how it affects me currently, or how I'm living with that. And I'm very open about this sometimes and then when a person, when like someone I know finds out about it, it gets shocking, but sometimes it's like you never really expect it. So, focusing specifically on one person, last year that was my aunt. One of my aunts. And she would have been the technically second person I've lost in my life. First being my mom, and her being the second, and then third being my uncle a week after. And between my aunt and uncle dying like just a week apart just last year, I really wouldn't say that's like anything. Well, I don't know, I can't really describe it. Just say it's just very unfortunate and just something you can't really, like, for me, I just didn't know what to feel. Of course I was sad, of course I was angry, of course I was everything, but just to wrap around it at the same time while you're being in school, because my aunt died while I was still, studying for finals. So yeah. And for me to talk about loss, it's not, I guess right now I just, bawl my eyes out because I have one specific thing I would like to share, obviously. Um, this what it is was a letter, and where this letter was originated was because I went to the mountains for church, and it's called, basically, it was like a retreat, and one of the events were basically, it was about, yeah, I forgot the name of it, but it solely was like based on notes from your family or friends or someone of the sort, and it was handed out to all of us. And technically we weren't supposed to be aware of it, and then yeah, some of us weren't aware, some of us were. And receiving my letter, they kind of had tissues. I was like, uh oh, and I already knew. I think I was going to be the first one to be shot down with tears, and I read the name of the two letters who I received it from. One of them being my aunt, one of them being my other aunt. I mean, I was still thankful for it, obviously. I didn't think it meant more if it was from them. The moment I read my aunt's letter, the one who passed away, first line, just the first introduction, it broke me. It broke me so much that it was so hard to read the rest of the letter, because I knew while I was up in those mountains, she was just there, So this was 2018, okay? So if my voice sounds like a little bit like nasally and like almost emotionally like teared up, it's hard for me to view this letter, talk about this topic at the same time. It's, I don't know. But anyway, so this letter was made on January 25th, 2018. And I went to those mountains, I think, think it was right after finals. Yeah, I remember that because that was rough. Don't want to do that again, but that's okay. The experience was great. Side note: I was constipated for those 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So yeah, rough. But anyway, still had fun there, so it was worth. Anyway, so I am going to read to you this letter, and when it comes to this letter, if I break down at any point, just please understand this letter. This letter alone has some tear marks on it because of me. It's quite the note that every time I look at it, she already told me to buy months before it happened. All it went down. So, by any means, let's get started. What did the date again? So, 25th January 2018. Maria Sires. To my nephew, John. It's been almost 6 years since your mother passed away. I know it's not easy to you during that time. I became your guardian even though I have no child on my own. I treat you as my own and tried my best to take care of you. One day I became sick and I stopped working and went through a lot of problems. I was diagnosed with, she left. Well, that's okay. Anyway, I was diagnosed with decongested heart failure. Know that you are 15 years old. You see my conditions, and she put in parentheses health every day. And you've been there. You've been there for me for all the things I needed. I am very thankful to the Lord that you are there for me to take care of me. Okay, the next part is, John is the kind young man who understands the life of being a teenager. He's very loving, caring, and loves his family. Okay, I'm trying so hard not to really, this letter, every time I read it, like I said, it's always breaks me down. Because I know it wasn't her who wrote this letter. She wasn't even strong to write it at all. Anyway, continue on. I wish him good life, happiness, and hoping that his brother Ryan and father will reunite together here in America. God bless. I always love you. Love always. Auntie Maria. And then her signature below. And then there's a PS. P.S. John, take care always. And pray. Just believe in God. He will bring you good life. Yeah. As you see, this letter means so much. Even if she was the one who wrote it, but her thoughts were in this. Every thought of it. And trust me, it's like 1 year, and whether or not you've gone through loss, okay? Whether it's been more than 5 years, more than a few months, or a few days, you can't really let go of certain things. You can, but sometimes when you do, the side effects are basically going to come back and strike you down, making you remember all of what went on in those moments. Trust me, it's not the best life, obviously, but it's still one to continue living. And that's for all of us to realize. It's not just loss that puts us under this type of emotion. It's so many other things, and I'm going to touch upon them with the actual terms. So, let's say, I don't know, parent divorce, or lose your pet, or you lose your best friend, you lose your loved one, you lose your job at work, someone stole something from you, there's so many situations where the emotional state is bound to come back at you at any given point in time beyond the original time it happened. Yeah. Trust me, I have other things too, little remnants of things like text messages. I used to have my mom's text messages on an old phone, but I destroyed the SIM card by accident. Anyway, yeah, it's quite something. That letter, back to the letter, when I just read that, it was so hard. Because like I said, I knew she couldn't write this letter because I could tell by the writing it was my other aunt who wrote it. She wrote her letter for her and wrote her own too for me. And I think when I wrote the one who lives with me right now, when I read her letter, I think she already knew that a lot of the same things that my late aunt Maria, who passed away last year, felt like she had the same thoughts about it. And I think her letter was just a summarization of those feelings. And just to know that receiving those letters from them, at least just two of them, it's still something worth. Meant so much just to have that. I missed them. Yeah, I went the same, I was pretty bad. I wanted to go out of the house. I really just couldn't leave them, because, I don't know why I'm such a good kid. I don't know why I'm still so fortunate, yet I'm still so broken. I don't really know why all of this is just luck. I'm fortunate, I really am thankful to have it. At the same time, with luck comes the cost. That's what we all have to understand. It's not... Oh my god, hold on. Yeah. You get my point.